Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to your Daily Detroit. It is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. I am J.R. Stay, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan, pushing Detroit's conversation forward. To help me do that is none other than the indefatigable Fletcher Sharp. How are you?
Feeling kind of faggotable today. There's only about a week or so left of Ramadan, so it's really pushing through. But astaghfirullah, I really do miss eating breakfast when the sun's actually up and not at 4:15. I'd like to eat breakfast with people and not just by myself looking out of a dark window. But it is a choice I made, as many others made, and if you are listening, we're almost there.
What is your pro tip for getting through this?
Mental fortitude. A high constitution within yourself to really think about the things that you need besides eating a cheeseburger at 2 p.m. That's really it. If you are strong of mind, you will push through. And if you are not, you're probably already eating. And if that's okay too, because everyone's journey is different.
You saw some things about tariffs.
Yeah, so whenever I've heard tariffs mentioned before, I've heard people really talk about parts or like things that are used to build stuff and like getting parts. I know for me in particular, like parts of cars, because that meant a lot to me for a minute while my car was being fixed. But I've seen a general sense of like, oh, agriculture is going to be an issue. And when you ask how, they're just like, it really is. And no one's really ever specified exactly what. Last Thursday, Elisa Slotkin held a discussion at May Farms in Sparta, which is nearby Grand Rapids, and she spoke about tariffs, and she spoke about a few other issues as well. And there were some farmers there who gave their opinion about what's happening and how they're going to be affected, and it really kind of helped me illuminate what exactly is going to be occurring.
For listeners, so they know, Elisa Slotkin is our current newly elected U.S. Senator.
That is correct. Trump said in early March he's going to put the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and pause them, and they're waiting to hear the revisit of that on April 2nd. In response to that, though, other countries have hit retaliatory tariffs. I know China for sure has hit one in 15% in agricultural products. And there's farmers, one nameless. Lisa Slotkin spoke to them. Soybean producers, food producers who've said that if this tariff's going to place, they're out of business. Michigan's agricultural business, I've assumed is probably pretty well. I know that cherries do well, northern part of the state. But $104.7 billion annually to the state's economy. That's a lot of money. That's an insane amount of money. It's way more than I thought was being poured into the state. So stripping that and hitting that with a tariff is really going to destabilize parts of the country. And there are people who work in farms, not just like, animals or such, but soybeans, cherries, carrots. It's going to destabilize a lot and cause a massive schism.
I want to stick back to the beginning of the campaign. And it's become so local because Detroit and Michigan is in the crosshairs. Remember when we were told prices are going to come down on day one? Now we're being told we're going to have pain. We're going to have economic pain for a while. So what is it? Like, what are we going to hold people responsible for? And what it gets to me is I keep getting told that this, and hold on with me here, because I know there's going to be some listeners who's like, oh no, he's going to get political. I don't trust politicians. And a move like this double face move, where you say you're going to lower prices on day one and then say, get ready for economic pain. That is the same typical politician swampy crap that we have been dealing with it's all the same. I keep getting told there's something different, and there's not. It's just people want to believe them harder.
And that's the part that I find a little bit I mean, it's not really funny when you look up and like the whole state is in a dumpster fire. But the funniest part to me is people are like, we voted for this person because he's not a politician. And it's like, he's acting like one. Like he might not have been one to start, but he's becoming one now. And to your point about, going in and renegotiating instead of stomping around, while they're busy stomping around, there are people whose livelihoods are like kind of at stake. It's like a lottery, except whatever you get, you're probably going to lose anyways. Like, you're not winning any money.
Yeah.
It's like, who's got the lucky numbers? And it's like, you do. And now you got to pay a bit more money. And it's like, oh, your numbers are unlucky. It's cool. You won next week. You got to pay. And it's like, no matter what, like, you're waiting to hope that you have to pay more, but less than you expected to still be functional. And it's honestly a shame. And it's not a political statement for left or right or whoever, because everyone's feeling the effects of it. And we just kind of would like to feel those effects a little bit less if that's possible.
Let's get into a little bit of development, kind of tied to a story I know you're passionate about. There's this talk of the bid for the WNBA team. A site on the riverfront, the old Uniroyal site, is being considered to be the athletic center, the headquarters, if you will, for this indoor and outdoor basketball, volleyball, soccer, football, sports facility tied to the new WNBA team. Now, this spot has been sitting empty for a long time because it's been messed up for a long time. Like, the Uniroyal site was there for a very long time. Uniroyal tires, it was tire manufacturing. That was environmentally tore up from the floor up. It took millions of dollars to even build the spur that is the Riverwalk that goes kind of like abuts all that stuff and kind of encapsulates it. So it being a sports facility would be an interesting use. And something that I think would kind of go in the plan of what you could do on a site like that. And it would bring a little bit more traffic over in that thing, and it'd be right next to Belle Isle. I mean, I remember when there were factories up and down East Jefferson. I know that you're a little younger than me. I remember going down Jefferson on the 25 bus and seeing the factories with the bridges over top of all of Jefferson Avenue. It was a wild industrial thing. But it would be great to see some sort of use. There's talk for so long that there's going to be development for a while. Jerome Bettis, the bus, had development rights to it. They got out of it because it was just not viable. I hope there's something like this happens. I hope something that can put this land to good use in a prime spot, especially if it turns out you really can't build, like housing or something on it. If it can be of use, I think that's a great thing.
I mean, seeing even photos of people walking down the Riverwalk in that area, like it looks scenic to a degree, but then when you look over the water and see the rocks and everything, then you look to the other direction, you just see a big old like green chunk of dirt in your face. And I mean, if you really are like into the earth, like you love Mother Terra, then like for sure. But if we could put something there that actually makes people want to stop by and do things, and seeing one of the renderings of the potential multi-sport complex, they're going to have, I see where there's a soccer field. I see exactly where the youth sports academy is right next to Belle Isle. I think that's great. If you're really about getting the city in its entirety back to being the Detroit of old that had 2 million odd people in it, I think this is a great step in getting people to actually want to come out and do things, not just go downtown, then go back to wherever they're from. I think this is a good way to also to engage with the neighborhoods around there. There's a few. I know some people who live on Grand who would love to have something like this, just to go down there and run around with their friends or maybe a pet or something similar. So to have something like this by the mouth of Belle Isle, where there's always been congestion. I do stuff on Belle Isle in the summer. I know a lot of people do. If you could take some of the pressure off of doing things on that island and put it on fields next to where that island is, maybe not this year or next year, but sometime soon come, I think that's a great thing. And it's going to allow more people to then go experience more parts of the city that they normally would maybe drive by or not even blink an eye to.
Cleanup would have to happen either way on some of this stuff. But I think this could be a really powerful use, especially if they're like, hey, this is what can bring some people in. So I'll link to everything in the free press that have renderings for that. This is a exciting development. Fletcher, Michigan State, Sweet 16, chance for the Elite Eight. Great news for Michigan sports fans, though. If for some reason Michigan and Michigan State meet, I'm going to be ducking for cover online.
Yeah, Reddit, which can be a great place or a terrible place. College basketball's Reddit, where they've been kind of keeping track of all the college basketball things. I happen just to look in and see what people are saying about whatever. And you go check a Michigan game and you see Michigan State fans and other Big Ten people razzing the Michigan fans. And you go to a Michigan State thread and you see a bunch of Michigan fans and other Big Ten fans razzing. And someone said this thing, and I really stuck out, where it's like, if they meet in the Elite Eight the way that it might happen, it's going to be one of the most toxic threads ever to grace the internet. And I'm like, yeah, if that does, I think I'm going to avoid the internet. Not to piggyback off our last topic, but I know Mayor Archer described the Uniroyal plant before it was demised, that it was so polluted that it could glow in the dark. And I feel like this thread could definitely be something just like that in terms of toxicity between in-state rivals. I mean, of course, it's not written in stone. Michigan State has to play Ole Miss. Michigan has to play top-seeded Auburn. A little bit of a rough sled, more so for Michigan than, say, Michigan State. But both teams take care of business. It could be a great day for Michigan sports fans, but also, you know, tremendous tears for one side of that spectrum.
All right, real quick, we'll walk through both of them. Michigan, what are your thoughts against Auburn? What are the chances?
Auburn's really good. If they do win, it would definitely be an upset. Number 1 seed, obviously. They have some tremendous length. They're going to have to definitely play like they played their last game and feed the ball in the middle to Vlad Golden and, you know, hope he can continue up his great pace.
And the Spartans?
They have to shoot the ball better. They are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the Big Ten, and everyone knows it, but they have moments where they play well. Jace Richardson cannot go 39 minutes before he scores his first bucket. There's only 40 minutes in a college basketball game, so he waited to the end to get his first bucket. Play defense, rebound better, and they should be fine. Ole Miss is a talented squad. They're long, just like the last 2 teams they played, but as long as they shoot the ball a bit better, rebound definitely better, we'll have this lovely but toxic rematch in the Elite Eight.
And it's going to be on Friday, right? So people will be locked in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even if you aren't, you know, maybe you talk to your boss and maybe he's like, all right, this one time you can split screen while you do your spreadsheets.
Oh, come on. A bunch of those bosses are going to be tuned right in too.
I mean, I had a boss when the U.S. was in the World Cup where I was watching on my screen and he yelled at me. Then he called me in his office and was like, how do you put this on the TV? You do that and you come in here every U.S. game and we're going to act like we're working together and you show me this on the TV. If you watch it on your screen, you have to go home. And I was like, how's that going to help me? He's like, you're not going to get paid. And I was like, all right, I need money. So yes, I will come in your office when there's a U.S. game. So yeah, I mean, they might have a cool boss like that, you know, but they also might have one who's just, maybe he went to Mercy. Maybe he went to Wayne State. Maybe he went to Central. And he's like, I don't care either way. We're not watching this. So, you know, maybe hope he cares a little bit.
No, I just think you need to watch out for the Ohio State grad.
Oh, yeah, no, they're just going to unplug the internet. You're not going to get to watch anything.
Well, Fletcher Sharp, so good to catch up with you. I know on a variety of topics, but as always, lots of things are happening around Metro Detroit. I appreciate you.
Of course. And I mean, I think variety is great because you don't get bogged down on one thing. So if I can come on and talk about a few things and show the breadth of my knowledge, I am very happy to do so.
For sure. And, you know, thank you so much to our members on Patreon. You are really amazing. It's local support that keeps shows like this going on the air. And specifically, I want to say thank you to Nate, Jeremiah, which, by the way, wonderful name, Jade for joining us as members at patreon.com/dailydetroit, as well as Mike for upping his membership. You are great. Access to our member-only Discord. We're doing Daily Detroit Rocks classes. We've got mugs on the way. Mike's going to be getting our new edition mug. And of course, you know, our undying support. Oh, and early access to some of our interviews that we're doing, as well as our Off the Record, Off the Rails podcast, where you get additional thoughts. You know, many listeners have said, hey, do like a 45-minute show, a 30-minute show. Well, you know, that's where you can go get your fill. And Fletcher, you've already participated, though I know you will be participating again.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had the first ones. If you want to learn more of why I'm the way that I am, you should definitely go boot that up, and then it'll make so much more sense with the rest of it.
All right. Well, with that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Fletcher Sharp.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll talk tomorrow.